Welcome to Sharp or Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the betting show that makes the squares sharper and makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman. I am joined, as always, by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Chad, we made it to game day. I love these type of moments because it's the moment before the moment. Will we have the historical moments that we remember forever? You know, the catch, the helmet catch.
That's right.
Yeah, I honestly was joking with the buddy. If the Bears had won and obviously gone through, what would we have called Caleb Williams' play? I said the throw. Because I'm trying to think, is there anything else even comparable? When you say, did you see that Caleb throw for the next couple of years? I feel like everyone's going to mention that fourth down play. The throw might stick, but obviously we'll move on because it didn't lead to anything. But it's like the Immaculate Reception, all these amazing names we have for football. I don't know, that Caleb play, so far these playoffs, that's the only one I can think of that was like a historical name that play type of play.
Simon, as an editor, I would make one adjustment to what you're calling it, which I think is brilliant. I would call it that throw.
That throw.
That throw. That Caleb throw. Well, unfortunately, we don't get the Bears. We get an aging quarterback off of an overtime game and short rest against a quarterback who is taking pain-killing shots for an oblique. We get a backup quarterback against a second-year quarterback who is trying to take his team to the Super Bowl and revive an entire community here in New England. It is time to get into it, my friend. It's the conference championship version of the semi-strip down in the room, Sharp or Square, in which Simon and I are going to nail down the 5 picks. A lot of injury talk, a lot of line move talk. If you're in the contest, you can track us at Chad Simon BFFs. Are you ready, Simon?
Let's go, buddy.
All right. So this first game is just fascinating, right? The New England Patriots visiting the Denver Broncos. Huge line move. The line is now 3.5. 4 at Hard Rock, but 3.5 in a lot of other places. Total is 43.5. Simon says was Denver at plus 5.5. The line move has been so big that I got an alert from ESPN yesterday that it is down to 3.5 at most places. Also, the total has come up from 40.5. Huge move on the Broncos. Professionals just buying in on Jarrett Stidham. That basically they're realizing, wait a second, there's just not a big enough difference between Box Nix and Jarrett Stidham. We have 100% put the Broncos into our play in the contest because they were at 4.5 in the contest. So we're invested. We're just invested in the Broncos in every way.
Yeah, it's nice. Obviously, we didn't win on Pittsburgh in the first round, but gave out Pittsburgh 3.5. Only time you could ever got that number. Last week, gave out Denver plus 1.5. Only time you could ever get that number. And this week, Denver plus 5.5. So, hopefully we can get another win here on Denver at a good number. But this is what you dream of when you make those type of bets, right? I went really heavy on Denver. Thank God it didn't go up the other way, right? That's always scary when it goes up to the 6 and 6.5. The other way, it went complete opposite. Right now, it's down to 3.5, 4, which is exactly what we predicted and we hope to see. And I think people are like us, right? They're starting to see the matchup isn't that bad for Denver. As much as they might struggle the quarterback position here, right? The rest of the team is so complete. You expect it to carry them. And just for one game, the guys running around the quarterback here feels like the type of game where it could easily happen. And I'm happy to see that. I wasn't total off when I said this number probably should be 3.5. The books have finally come around. Their senses have reflected that. And even our futures, we talked, you could have got Denver 13-1, 14-1. It's basically 10-1 now at every book, right?
Yeah.
So the pros have kind of watched the tape on Stidham this week. Stiddy is what everyone's calling him.
Stiddy.
It's come way down, and that's the dream for us, right? So I won't bore people with all the numbers. Once again, since 1950s, home dogs are four points or more at home since 1950s, people 9-0 against the spread. So hoping that continues for us, Chad. We love the number here, and we're just really into Patriots. They are a good team. They do deserve to be here. They're a tad bit overrated by the general public, and the line reflected that. The number went up too high too quick. The books, just like I am, are very happy in their position, right? Can we lose this bet? Of course. it's a coin flip. You never know what can happen, right? It's sports, but I feel like our early read was right here with backing this Denver team and just the fact that this is a good matchup for them at home. Sean Payton, and once again, everyone's seen these numbers with backup quarterbacks. He's one of the best coaches ever against the spread, right? He's 13-6 against the spread with a backup quarterback. So
yep.
we remember the days when Teddy Bridgewater came in after Drew Brees got banged up and played really well and kept covering. And it's just the kind of the MO here with Sean Payton. He gets the guys to rally around the quarterback plays. So unfortunately for us, Chad, I did bank on Franklin being back. I don't know if he'll play. He's been limited all week with the hamstring. The big one that hurt to me is the Dobbins. I really thought Dobbins was going to make a run at it, the running back for Denver, which, again, not the biggest deal. Like you said, it wasn't like he was going to play a ton of snaps anyway. To me, it was just a big deal because he is just a leader of that team. Everyone on the team loves Dobbins. So at least he'll be on the sideline, but a big miss for them with not getting Dobbins back. On the flip side, looks like Mac Hollins might be back here for the Patriots, which is a big deal for them as well. And, as much as that hurts us on the spread, I think that helps us with the total, which we also like here. So nothing's wavered for me, Chad. Still really confident in this Broncos team and still my favorite bet this week.
I have also heavily invested in Jarrett Stidham props. I'm over his 31.5 passing attempts.
Okay.
I think I did an alt over his 260 passing yards. I also did a single game. I'm going like every rule that I have for myself during the regular season, I am breaking during the playoffs just for this game, specifically for this game.
It's fun getting action. I mean, honestly, It doesn't come compare. Like, this is probably going to be my biggest bet of the season, this Denver on this number. But I'm like you. I did some props. I would say the prop I'd give on this show, I took his over rushing yards. I mean, I
took Drake Maye over 40 rushing yards. Let me just finish because the parlay I did, the SGP I did was Stidham over 260 passing yards, Stidham over 32 plus passing attempts, and Drake Maye 40 plus rushing yards. Because I don't think, we talked about this on the show, with J.K. Dobbins out, I think that Sean Payton builds a game plan where he's just leaning into Jarrett Stidham. He had 11 rushing attempts, called 11 rushing attempts in that overtime game against the Bills. The Patriots' rushing defense is dominant. It lines up for Stidham, who has never had fewer than 32 pass attempts in his 4 starts, to just sling the ball.
Yeah, and it could just be what they go back to, which is Sean Payton's offense of, if they don't run it, they're happy. Sean Payton's happy at 3 or 4 yard completion. This is Drew Brees days. That's been his
that's right.
If he doesn't like the look with the run, he'll have the QB check out of it and just take the 3 yard, 4 yard completion, just keep the sticks moving. So I don't hate that bet by you at all.
We're also on the over. We had betted at 42.5 in the contest. That's what's been available. It's now at 43.5. Do you have a strong opinion? 43 is a key number. So do you have a strong opinion now that it's over 43.5?
No, still on it. Like you, I wish I had hammered this one on Tuesday. Sure, it was 40 or 40.5. And my feeling was, though, it was right that most guys will look at this game that there could be turnovers by both these quarterbacks, right? These are both inexperienced quarterbacks. One's making his first playoff start. The one's making his first road playoff start. There's got to be some nerves and some jitters. So we expect short fields, and we've seen Drake Maye been really good in the red zone. He tends to score touchdowns. And on the flip side, you've seen Sean Payton scheming up that his teams get in the red zone. They tend to score as well. So I haven't wavered on the total at all. It's the type of game, too, where it feels like if it's even 16-14 head into the fourth quarter, you could see a ton of points.
Totally.
Like, it seems like both these teams could turn it on at any point. So we just got to keep it in arm's reach. If it's 10-3 at half, I'm not going to be lying. I'll be a little worried about this total if it's that type of game. Because, again, either of these quarterbacks we talked about, it could easily lay an egg, right? It's two defenses that have been playing really well, especially, down the stretch for Denver and in the playoffs for this Patriots team. So I can't wait to see what happens with this one. But, yeah, nice to see the pros are with us, right? This number has been bet up all week.
Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. The line is still 2.5. The totals come down just a touch, 45.5. This was our biggest debate of the week, to the point where you and I chatted yesterday and had a long conversation about it. I think we're still a little bit split, but on the call yesterday, you had some really compelling arguments about the Seattle Seahawks, and that is why the Seattle Seahawks at -2.5 are going to be our brass balls bet of the week, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
You know what it takes? It takes brass balls.
The Seattle Seahawks going in the contest at -2.5. Share with everybody, Simon, what you told me yesterday to convince me that it was time to pull the trigger on the Seahawks, at least for the contest.
I mean, there's a lot of things. I feel like at the end of the day, what we've talked about, when both these teams are so evenly matched, when you talk about how they've played 2 games this year and both decided by 2 points and 1 point, that it's been that close of a margin, what was going to be the difference in this matchup, right? If these two teams know each other so well, Chip, trying to beat your head over the rest to me is going to be the big deciding factor in this game and how these teams hold up, especially in the second half. And what I brought up to Chad was, if he saw that clip, I don't know if anyone else has seen it, of Caleb Williams at the Blackhawks game walking up the stairs to leave the Blackhawks game. And he basically looked like a 50-year-old man, or not, I shouldn't even say that, 80-year-old man walking up the stairs.
I was going to say 50-year-old men, they can be spry.
They can, but they can look beat up after getting hit around a couple rounds. But he just looked so broken. Like he basically was holding the handrail all the way up and it looked like every step was aching pain. Okay, Caleb Williams is what, 23, 24 years old? Go to the flip side. Go to Stafford, who threw the ball more, take more hits in that game, and is now on a short week on the road once again, playing a Seahawks team that is basically well rested. Basically, have played 3 quarters in 3 weeks. Like, you couldn't have dreamed up a better scenario for the Seahawks team. And it's like that stat I keep giving out to people. Underdogs in this exact spot, 9-25 straight up in the history of the NFL. It just, if you're in overtime in the playoffs and you're on the road now and you have worse rest than your team you're playing against, it's a death sentence. It's just so much to overcome. So can Stafford overcome it? Of course. I mean, if any quarterback can play well against the Seahawks defense, it's been Stafford. He has lit them up. On the flip side, Darnold has struggled against this Seahawks team. But I think people are reading way too much into it. Like, these teams are not the same teams they were last time they played. They've changed so much, not just because of health-wise, but just their identity, where I really think the Seahawks team has found something in the sense that they know they just need to lean into the defense. They just know that. Like, it just feels like they've totally shifted that way, where they've kind of taken the ball out of Sam Darnold's hands. I don't see them going for it on 4th and 2s, 4th and 3s. I think they're going to punt, play it safe. On the flip side, I think McVay goes for every 4th down. I think he's highly aggressive. Once again think that plays in the Seahawks' hands. Like, this defense, they will get stopped. So, yeah, this was a tough one. Like you said, a lot of back and
really
forth.
Tough.
I would say whatever confidence you did have in the Rams, I have much more in the Seahawks, and that kind of won the battle in our argument. And,
that's where we are.
I know it's kind of boring picking both 1 seeds here, but picking them both for such different, unique situations and reasoning. And the biggest one here for the Seahawks team is I just feel like they are going to really pay dividends to what they did at the end of the season, which was winning that game against the 49ers. Now they've rested well. This Rams team, they blew that game against the Seahawks. They blew that game against the Eagles, and we knew eventually it would come back and bite them. I think this is the game that comes back and bite them. Like, this is just such a horrible spot to be in, and they have no one to blame themselves, right? They could have been at home in this exact scenario themselves. Instead, they're on their 4th straight road game, going into a hostile environment. And to me, a game, something we haven't talked enough about was the special teams matchup. The Rams, in my model, they've been in the bottom 25 all year in special teams.
They fired their coach like at the end of the season, before the season was over.
And got rid of their kicker because he kept missing field goals. And on the flip side, Seahawks, they're my number 3 graded special teams. And once again, we talk about how small these margins are going to be. These things keep adding up, and it's just like, how does not all of this favor the Seahawks team? So, yeah, I'm obviously nowhere near as confident I am in the Broncos compared to the Seahawks team, but I love this bet. I'm happy we're getting this one in the contest.
All right, let's take a quick listen to a word from our friends at Hard Rock. Today's show is brought to you by our presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet, Florida's sportsbook. I've been using it a bunch these past couple of days. These playoffs have been crazy so far, and the best way to cash in on those unexpected moments is with Hard Rock Bet. This weekend, 2 teams will punch their tickets to the big game, which means we've got 2 huge games perfect for building same-game parlays. And if you miss kickoff, don't worry. Hard Rock Bet has live in-game betting, so you're never too late to get to the action. Find a winner or grab the player prop you missed before kickoff. You can even live bet between snaps in just a few easy taps. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you get not only your winnings, but also an extra $150 in bonus bets. Between same-game parlays, live betting, a can't-miss welcome offer, and new promos dropping every day. Hard Rock Bet has you covered all postseason long, so download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit. All right, so we've talked about the sides and the totals. In the contest that we're playing, there are props that are some of the choices just because we need to make 5 picks and there's only 2 sides and 2 totals. So in the contest, the props include for the Patriots and Broncos, Jarrett Stidham over or under half an interception. So will he or won't he throw an interception? Drake Maye over under, I think it was a touchdown. And for this, because we expect Stidham, who hasn't played obviously in a couple of years, to be slinging it, we like Stidham over the half an interception. So we like him to throw an interception. In the Rams and the Seahawks, the options were Stafford over under 39.5 yards for his longest path, and Jackson Smith and Jigba over under half a touchdown. We decided to go with Jackson Smith and Jigba under half a touchdown, basically no touchdown. Simon, I thought you just had really good logic on why we were making that choice. I want you to explain it to everybody sort of mathematically, because you're thinking about it as a professional bettor, not just sort of as what might happen on the field.
Yeah, and we love Stiddy. It's just we're playing the math, like Chad just said. It's now up to minus 140 in the throw pick. So we're getting
minus 110
on that. And JSN, another guy where, anytime touchdown minus 110, sure, that's fair. If you go through it, okay, he has 10 touchdowns this season. In 4 games, he scored 2 touchdowns. So, I'm no mathematician. You guys can do the math. It's less than 50% chance that he's going to score a touchdown in these games. If you just go based off this season, he's being priced as if it's, basically better than 50%. And if you look at the math as well, it's minus 150 for a no touchdown in our contest. Like you, Chad, said, we're getting minus 110. So it's two really logical, good bets. And I just, as much as we love Seattle and we think JSN has a possibility to score, there's other pieces on their team they're going to focus on here. And where you think the Rams, that'll be the guy they'll be focused on and take away. So I love both our props. And one more thing I'll get out of here. I forgot to mention our guy, Evan Abrams. Just one more stat I'll give out before we give out here. Teams of overtime wins in the playoffs, 6-13 straight up in the next round. When they're off overtime and at a rest disadvantage, 1-8 straight up in the NFL playoffs history. It's just, once again, a brutal spot for this Rams team.
All right, so our final 5, we're going with the Denver Broncos. We got them at 4.5 in the contest. They're at 3.5. We still like them at 3.5. We are much more invested in the Broncos and the Broncos' success today.
Yeah, try to find the 4 though.
You can get some 4s. We are much more invested across the board in the Broncos' success. We're also on this game over 42.5 in the contest. It's at 43.5 most places. Still like the total there. We are on the Seahawks. That's our brass balls bet of the week at minus 2.5. The rest advantage for the Seahawks was the ultimate deciding factor for us choosing that. And then we put in 2 props into the contest. Jarrett Stidham to throw an interception and Jackson Smith and Jigba to not score a touchdown. Those are the 5. We will be back later tonight, our final Sunday evening show of the year. This has been Sharper Square, part of the Volume Podcast Network. The show will come on after the Rams-Seahawks game. We're going to recap all the glory and misery of the day. Should be an exciting day. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharper Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, download us on Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars. Say whatever you want. Until tonight, love you.
The road to the Super Bowl is like a mythic quest. It's a demanding journey, an adventure that creates heroes.